Record show, Mrs. Sharp is absent, all of the board members are present. Mr. Board, is public notice been given?
Yes, it does.
It's time to shout outs and celebrations.
Okay, so again, this is a standing agenda item where we've got an opportunity for folks to be able to come up to the microphone, state your name, make sure you fill out a form with Mrs. Coleman, get your name written down, but an opportunity to give out any shout outs or recognitions to those folks that deserve it. So I don't know if there are any that are ready, but that's what we'd like to do. Good evening, Mr. Sharp.
Good evening, Mr. Board. For those of you that don't know me, my name is John Sharp. I'm a teacher's assistant here at the high school, but I am a special ed assistant for the 7th and 8th grade. They've told me I only have about 3 minutes, but I can't even reset a phone number in 3 minutes, so it might be like a little bit longer, so please bear with me. I took some notes because I get a little tongue-tied sometimes. There are so many staff at the Richland School District that deserve recognition, but tonight I'm only allowed 3. So I might be back again and again and again and again, because there's tons of people that deserve this. Anyone that knows me knows that I'm not necessarily the sharpest tool in the box, but I am, however, able to observe outstanding skills such as leadership, organization, dedication, devotion, and empathy to the students in our care. The 3 staff, so I've already broken the rules, the 3 staff that I'd like to give a shout out tonight and would like to recognize are Sharon Klang, Nicole Toney, and Suzette Troxel. Sharon is one of the most dedicated and organized people I've ever worked with, and I've worked many, many places. Her attention to detail in developing schedules for our students ensures that our days, primarily my days, go as smoothly as possible. That consistency, which I think is really important, gives our students a routine that makes them comfortable and makes their transition from 6th grade to 7th grade much more comfortable and less frightening. And let me talk about Ms. Toney. Nikki is a planner and a doer, all right? She is the driving force behind many of the activities that the 7th and 8th grade kids do throughout the year. Her planning and organizational skills make these activities operate as smoothly as they possibly can. Remember, we're dealing with 7th and 8th graders, so it's like herding cats. So she's awesome at it. Especially the CISA 3 champion games. And I'm sure you're all aware of the CISA 3 champion games that we've done for years and years and years. Because of her organizational skills and planning, the Richland School District is usually the largest contingent of students at the champion games. And if you could see the kids when we get to those champion games, the smiles and the reactions on their faces, you would truly appreciate what we have with her. Suzette completes her daily duties with a quiet dignity and compassion that I have rarely seen in any human being. I feel that Suzette embodies all of the strengths that we paras should strive for. She put the E in excellence, and we should all, I think, especially the paras, should try to be more like her. These are just 3 of the amazing staff that we have at this school and in this district. I truly encourage other staff to step forward and recognize people that they think are special and that have done something a little bit special. And I'm sure I will be back because I have a list of about 48 people that I would like to recognize over the period of time that I'm allowed to. And I know I've gone over my time a little bit, but I just want to thank you and remind you what an amazing staff that you've put together here at the school district. Thank you very much for your time.
Good evening. I'll help make up some time. Mine's a little short and a little sweet. And that is a special shout out to Vanessa Muller, our art teacher at Richland Center Primary School, and to Cammie Clary, our music teacher there. For their creativity, their planning, as they have both been going into grade level classrooms and teaching off a cart. Yep, you heard me, off a cart. We learned we could do this during COVID when we had to, and this year we had prepared to do this with the construction that's happening at the primary school, because their designated spaces are kindergarten classrooms right now. And they will be continuing to teach from a cart until we transition the kindergarten classes into their new rooms and prepare their spaces for them. But we are recognizing a need, it's recognized by many, their flexibility and their creative planning that's happening as they are teaching from a cart, preparing that cart for the day, thinking about when am I going to get back to my office spaces that have been created for them to house everything they need and or get into their storage spaces to get the other special things that they might be able to pull out or need to pull out with different grade levels. So recognition to them for doing a great job, especially in a time of transition and needed creativity. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Beth Gander, and I'm a secretary at the primary school. I am here this evening to give a shout out to Tricia Lewis. Tricia is a part of the school district's IT department and is based at the primary school. I want to thank her for all that she does to help out when technology tends to stump us. She is patient, kind, and quick to help out. Every year, we hand out from the office maps of our school. And it shows the safety routes and locations in case of a fire or a tornado. With all the changes this year, I asked Tricia if she could create us a new map showing not only the location of each room, but to add the exterior exits, door numbers, the fire extinguisher, AED, life vac locations. Of course, she was happy to help, even though it was adding a new task to her workload. I told her it was time sensitive since we had a tornado drill coming up at the beginning of the next week. And she let me know what she needed, and within a few hours, she had her first draft completed. Tricia not only created a safety map for the primary building, she went above what I had asked and made an individual map for each room by number and drew on specific exit routes in case of a fire and put the safety areas in case of a tornado on each map and completed it within a little over a day and a half. Thank you, Tricia, for stopping what you were working on to create our safety map to make the primary school safe for our kiddos, staff, and visitors in case of an emergency. We are so blessed to have such a talented, kind person to work with, and I want to let her know that she is appreciated more than words can express. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Mr. Lemke. I'm presenting on behalf of Mr. Armijo, who's unable to be here this evening. First person he would like to shout out is Mr. Dan Makovic for his hard work helping students understand how to maintain their behavior in a classroom, as well as his hard work helping to reduce the parent pickup time down to about 10 minutes after school. Thank you to Mr. Makovic. And then he would also like to recognize and shout out Ms. Kim Remington, her work as a night custodian. She's gone the extra mile while RCIS has been short-staffed for the past few weeks. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, thank you. Mr. Van.
Okay, thank you. On to agenda item 4, public comment. For policy 0167.3, anyone wishing to participate in the period of public comment must be a resident of the Richland School District, the parent or legal guardian of an enrolled district student, or an enrolled district student. Persons wishing to participate must physically be present at the meeting and must register in advance. A total time allotment of 30 minutes will be given for public comment. Each participant shall be given 3 minutes to address the board. Speakers not permitted to make inflammatory comments, use inappropriate language or gestures, attack specific persons, or make a specific person the subject of their remarks. Please see policy 0167.3 for a complete list of requirements and restrictions. If a person is unable to adhere to these rules, then you'll be directed to end their comments. Mrs. Coleman? Thank you. On to agenda item 5, reports, district administrator's report.
All right, just a couple of announcements. One, next week is our homecoming week here throughout the Richland School District. Kind of culminates for the community with a parade on Friday. That will start at 2:55. Board members, you're reminded that you should be there if you're able to ride the board member float at 2:30. And sometime middle of next week, we should have the parade number where you can go right to that spot on the parade route. If you have any questions, you should talk to Mrs. Troxel regarding that, or Mrs. Sharp. Secondly, reminder to our board that we have our next policy governance meeting next Wednesday. That's October 1st, and that will start at 7 p.m. Any questions from the board? Thank you.
All right, on to agenda item 6, the minutes. Is there a motion to approve the prior meeting minutes of September 8th, 2025?
So moved.
Motion made by Mr. Miller. Is there a second? Mr. Miller, discussion? Mr. Mailing?
Aye.
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 Aye. On to agenda item 7, financial items, approval of statement of cash and invoices.
I'd like to make a motion to approve statement of cash dated September 16th, 2025, and approve Community First Bank general checking account checks number 87540 through 87554, ACH number 252603637 through 252603662, and EFT number 202500043 through 202500048, for a net total of $166,663.78. This is for the purpose of general operating costs of the district.
Motion was made by Mr. Miller. Is there a second?
I'll second.
And Mr. Brady. Mr. Bosworth, anything you want to point out or add?
Nothing to add tonight.
Thank you. Discussion? Mr. Doudna?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
All right. On to agenda item 8, Mrs. Coleman, consent agenda items.
Motion to approve the consent agenda items as presented. Motion to accept the donation of money valued at $1,153 from Kevin and Chris Mulholland. Motion to accept the donation of school supplies valued at approximately $250 from Dollar Tree. Motion to accept the donation of school supplies valued at approximately $120 from Richland Center United Methodist Church. Motion to accept the donation of homemade hats valued at approximately $250 from Mary Frances Greenwood. Motion to approve the WIAA renewal for the cross-country co-op for boys and girls for the 2026, 2027, and 2027-2028 years. Motion to approve the 2025 to 2026 contracted service agreement between Richland Hospital Incorporated and the Richland School District for occupational therapy assistant services, physical therapy services, and athletic trainer services as presented. Motion to approve the addition of 2 7.25-hour per day special education aid positions to accommodate the special education needs as presented. Motion to approve 3 open enrollment in applications for the 2025-26 school year as presented, and approve 1 open enrollment out application for the 2025 school year as presented.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda items?
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Ms. Troxel. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Mrs. Thompson, discussion? Mr. Miller?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Is there a motion to approve modified agenda?
So moved.
Motion made by Mr. Miller. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Ms. Troxel, discussion? I would like to thank, on behalf of the board, Kevin and Chris Mulholland, the Dollar Tree, the Richland Center United Methodist Church, and Mary Frances Greenwood for their generous donations. Mrs. Thompson?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
agenda item 10, information and discussion items, district vacancies and appointments.
Okay, so you can see the list there under the orange header for openings that we have. We did fill the speech position through CISA just today. Mr. Joseph and I worked that out, and so we will be removing that. It will be a virtual service, but we had to find something for our students, so we're going to be removing that from the list. And then all of our custodians, you'll notice one of the postings just ended here recently on the 18th. All of those we're going to kind of do interviews together because we've got some internal candidates and moving around. It's just easier to kind of do all the interviews together and then take care of them all at once. So that'll happen next week as the interview process continues. We have the admin assistant to the business office. That posting is closed. We're reviewing the applicants right now. And then one position that is not on here, but we'll make sure that gets on here, is filled because there's a vacancy in the business office, and that is because the administrative assistant to the district administrator and the Board of Education, that position was accepted by Brenda Coleman, who's here, and so we'll get that listed on here as well as a full position. Any questions from the board? Okay, thank you.
Snow plowing bids and timeline.
Okay, so this is an item that would have typically gone to the buildings and property first, and then brought to the board for information, and then brought back to the board for bids. All of the information is included in the PDF. I did update the board memo in board docs here this afternoon to just include some of the same information that was in the PDF. And that's some of the important dates that are coming up regarding the snow plowing bids. On October 10th, that is when the bids will be due back to district office for anyone interested in putting in a bid. That will need to be in by noon on October 10th. The bids will be opened in the district office at noon on October 13th, and then those bids will be brought back to the board for approval on October 29th before contractors are notified on 31st, on or before the 31st. So this is for our snow plowing. We do some of the snow plowing with our internal staff, and we do some of it that we have to contract out specifically up here, and any work that we might have to clear out with the MOU through the campus is looking at being contracted as well. So again, that'll be brought back to you once we get the bids, but all the timelines and information, the posting in the paper, are all included in the PDF. Any questions?
Seeing that it's advertised for the Observer and the Shopping News, have we ever thought about running an ad on the WSO?
It's certainly something we can look at. Yeah. I don't know that we've done that, but we certainly can look at that.
What about putting it on the district website and Facebook pages?
Let's explore all of those.
Anything else from the board? Hearing none, we'll move on to agenda item 11, action items, the revision of 2025-26 regular board meeting schedule.
Okay, so back when the board had their reorganization meeting back on April 28th, the board approved their regularly scheduled board meetings throughout the school year. With the transition, looking at going through moving them to Wednesdays and moving them to the second and fourth Wednesdays, the board will need to approve a regular meeting schedule and kind of amend its previous schedule. And so if you look at the memo on the far left, I've got the original date, which was a Monday, and then third column over in red is the proposed new date. And just a couple of dates that I'd like to point out. Most of them are simply 2 days after the original date. It was on September 22nd, now it's on September 24th. But there are a couple because of the way the calendar falls. For instance, October 13th, the second Wednesday is actually October 8th, so that's actually before the meeting. The 20th is still going to be our annual meeting. That's set by the stakeholders at the annual meeting, so that is not something that can be changed by the board. And then a couple of other ones that I want to point out is on October 29th, the fourth Monday was October 27th. The 29th is actually the fifth Monday, but because that is the day that the board will need to adopt and set the levy, The closer we can get to the end of the month, the better it is for accurate information. The 22nd is going to be, there's still very high likelihood that the DPI will be making changes to the revenue and worksheet at that time. And so I'm suggesting that that one is actually the fifth Wednesday, which is the 29th. State law says that we need to have that certified by the end of the month, so we're still certainly in compliance there. And then, as we look at November and December, the second Wednesday of those months, November would be November 25th. That is the day before Thanksgiving, when we don't have school on that day. It's a day where a lot of people will be traveling, suggesting that we not have a meeting that night, but instead have a second policy governance meeting on the 19th, which will give us an extra opportunity for a governance meeting. And similarly, in December, December 24th is Christmas Eve. Most of you will not want to be here on that day, and so I would suggest we don't have a meeting on that day, but again, on the third Wednesday, the 17th, have a governance meeting there as well. All the rest of them, I believe, line up with the second and the fourth Wednesdays, all of them starting at 7 p.m. Any questions from the board on the proposal? Otherwise, I'll turn it over to Mr. Umbehan. Okay.
Questions, comments, concerns from the board? On the schedule? Hearing none, then, is there a motion to approve the 2025-26 regular board meeting schedule as presented? Motion made by Mr. Miller. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second, Mrs. Thompson. Discussion? Ms. Troxel?
Aye.
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 I'll make a motion to move into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin statutes 19.851E and F to deliberate and negotiate intergovernmental agreements regarding student admittance into IFRAD Academy, to deliberate or negotiate the purchase of property for alternative educational purposes, and to consider confidential student and personnel matters. At the conclusion of the closed session, the board will entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Ms. Troxel, discussion? Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Thank you.